Numbers chapter 12. The complaints of Miriam and Aaron. While they were at Hazeroth, Miriam and Aaron criticized Moses because he had married a Cushite woman. They said, "Has the Lord spoken only through Moses? Hasn't he spoken through us too?" But the Lord heard them. Now Moses was very humble, more humble than any other person on earth. So immediately the Lord called to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, and said, "Go out to the tabernacle, all three of you." So the three of them went to the tabernacle. Then the Lord descended in the pillar of cloud and stood at the entrance of the tabernacle, Aaron and Miriam. He called, and they stepped forward, and the Lord said to them, "Now listen to what I say. If there were a prophet among you, I, the Lord, would reveal myself in vision. I would speak to them in dream, but not with my servant Moses. Of all my house, he is the one I trust. I speak to him face to face, clearly and not in riddles. He sees the Lord as he is. So why were you not afraid to criticize my servant Moses?" The Lord was very angry with them, and he departed. As the cloud moved from above the tabernacle, there stood Miriam, her skin as white as snow from leprosy. When Aaron saw what happened to her, he cried out to Moses, "Oh, my master, please don't punish us for this sin we have so foolish committed. Don't let her be like a stillborn baby already decayed at birth." As Moses cried out to the Lord, "Oh God, I beg you, please heal her." But the Lord said to Moses, "If her father had done nothing more than spit in her face, wouldn't she be defined for 7 days? So keep her outside the camp for 7 days, and after that she may be accepted back." So Miriam was kept outside the camp for 7 days, and the people waited until she was brought back before they traveled again. Then they left Hazeroth and camped in the wilderness of Paran. Wilderness. Chapter 13. Travels 12 scouts explored Canaan. The Lord now said to Moses, "Send out men to explore the land of Canaan, the land I am giving to the Israelites. Send one leader from each of the 12 ancestral tribes." So Moses did as the Lord commanded him. He sent out 12 men, all tribe leaders of Israel, from the camp in the wilderness of Paran. There was the tribe of the name of the leader: Reuben, Simeon, Judah, and Israel, and Ephraim, Benjamin, Zebulun, Manasseh son of Joseph, Dan, Asher, Naphtali, Gad, and Caleb, Iga, Hosanna. This the name of the man Moses sent out to explore. Moses called Hosanna, son of Nun, by the name Joshua. Moses gave the men this instruction as he sent them out to explore the land. "Go north through the Negev into the hill country, see what the land is like, and find out whether the people living there are strong or weak, few or many. See what kind of land they live in. It is good or bad. Do their tongue have wall, or are they unprotected like open camps? Is the soil fertile or poor? Are there many trees? Do your best to bring back samples of the crop you see." It happened to be the season for harvesting the first ripe grapes. So they went up and they explored the land from the wilderness of Zin as far as Rehob, near Libahamas. Going north, they passed through the Negev and arrived at Hebron, where Ahiman, Shimei, and Talmai, all descendants of Anak, lived. The ancient town of Hebron was founded 7 years before the Egyptian city of Zoan. When they came to the valley of Escort. They cut down a branch with a single cluster of grapes so large that it took two of them to carry it on a pole between them. They also brought back a sample of pomegranates and figs. The place was called the Valley of Escol, which means cluster, because of the cluster of grape and the Israelites men cut there. The scouting report. After exploring the land for 40 days, the men returned to Moses, Aaron, and the whole community of Israelites at Kadesh. In the wilderness of Paran, they reported to the whole community what they have seen and showed them the fruit they had taken from the land. This was the report to Moses. We went enter the land you sent us to explore, and it is indeed a bountiful country, a land flowing with milk and honey. Here is the kind of fruit is produced. But people live there are powerful, and their towers are large and fortified. We even saw the giant there, the descendants of Anak. The Amalekite lived in the Negev, and the Hittites, Jebusite, and the Amorites living in the hill country. The Canaanites live along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea and along the Jordan Valley. But Caleb tried to quiet the people as they stood before Moses. Let's go at once to take the land, he said. We can certainly conquer it. But the other men who had explored the land with him disagreed. We can't go up against them. They are stronger than we are. So they spread this bad report about the land among the Israelites. The land we traveled through and explored will devour anyone who goes to live there. All the people we saw were huge. We even see giants there, the descendants of Anak. Next to them, we feel like a grasshopper, and that's what they thought too. Chapter 14. The people rebel. Then the whole community began weeping aloud, and they cried all night. The voice rose in a great chord of protest against Moses and Aaron. If only we had died in Egypt, or even here in the wilderness, they complained. Why is the Lord taking us to this country only to have us die in battle? Our wives and our little ones will be carried off as a plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to return to Egypt? Then they plotted among them. Let's choose a new leader and go back to Egypt. Then Moses and Aaron fell face down on the ground before the whole community of Israel. Two of the men who had explored the land, Joshua son of Nun and Caleb son of Judah, tore their clothing. They said to all the people of Israel, the land we traveled through and explored is a wonderful land, and if the Lord is pleasing with us, he will bring us safely into the land and give it to us. It is a rich land flowing with milk and honey. Do not rebel against the Lord, and don't be afraid of the people of the land. They are only helpless prey to us. They have no protection, but the Lord is with us. Don't be afraid of them. But the whole community began to talk about stoning Joshua and Caleb. Then the glorious presence of the Lord appeared to all the Israelites at the tabernacle. And the Lord said to Moses, how long will these people treat me with contempt? Will they never believe me even after all the miracle signs I have done among them? I will disown them and destroy them with a plague. Then I will make you into a nation greater and mightier than they are. Moses intercedes for the people, but Moses objects. What will the Egyptians think when they heard about that? He asked the Lord. They know full well the power you displayed in rescue your people from Egypt. Now if you destroy them, the Egyptian will send a report to the inhabitant of this land, who had already heard that you live among your people. They know, Lord, that you have appeared to your people face to face, and that your pillar of cloud hover over them. They know that you go before them in the pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night. Now if you slaughter all these people with a single blow, the nation that had I heard of your fame will say, the Lord was not able to bring them into the land he swore to give them, so he killed them in the wilderness. Please, Lord, prove that your power is as great as you have claimed. For you said, The Lord is slow to anger and filled with unfailing love, forgiving every kind of sin and rebellion. But he does not excuse the guilty. He lays the sin of the parents upon the children, and the entire family is affected, even children in the third and the fourth generation. In keeping with your magnificent unfailing love, please pardon the sin of this people, just as you have forgiven them ever since they left Egypt. Then the Lord said, I will pardon them as you have requested. But as surely I live, and as surely the earth is filled with the Lord's glory, not one of these people will ever enter that land. They have all seen my glory, presence, and the miracle sign I performed both in Egypt and in the wilderness. But again and again they had tested me by refusing to listen to my voice. They will never even see the land I swore to give their ancestors. None of those who have treated me with contempt will ever see it. But my servant Caleb has a different attitude than the others have. He had remained loyal to me, so I will bring him to the land he explored. His descendants will possess the full share of that land. Now turn around and don't go on toward the land where the Amalekite and the Canaanites live. Tomorrow you must set out for the wilderness in the direction of the Red Sea. The Lord punished the Israelites. Then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, how long must I put up with this wicked community and it complain about me? Yes, I have heard the complaint that the Israelites are making against me. Now tell them this, as sure as I live, declares the Lord, I will do to you the very things I heard you say. You will all drop dead in the wilderness. Because you complained against me, every one of you who is 20 years old or older and were included in the registration will die. You will not enter and occupy the land I swore to give you. The only exception will be Caleb, son of Jephthah, and Joshua, son of Nun. You said your children would be carried off as plunder. Well, I will bring them safely into the land, and they will enjoy what you have despised. But as for you, you will drop dead in this wilderness, and your children will be like a shepherd, wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. In this way, they will pay for your faithlessness until the last of your life dead in the wilderness. Because your men explored the land for 40 days, you must wander in the wilderness for 40 years. A year for each day, suffering the consequence of your sin. Then you will discover what it is like to have me for an enemy. I, the Lord, have spoken. I will certainly do these things to every member of the community who has conspired against me. They will be destroyed here in this wilderness, and here they will die. Then 10 men Moses had sent to explore the land, the one who incite the rebellion against the Lord with the bad report, were struck dead with a plague before the Lord. Of the 12 who had explored the land, only Joshua and Caleb remained alive. When Moses reported the Lord's word to all the Israelites, the people were filled with grief. Then they get up early the next morning and went to the top of the range of hill. Let's go, they said. We realize that we have sinned, but now we are ready to enter the land the Lord has promised us. But Moses said, why are you now disobeying the Lord's order to return to the wilderness? It won't work. Do not go up into the land now. You will only be crushed by your enemy because the Lord is not with you. When you face the Amalekite and the Canaanites in battle, you will be slaughtered. The Lord will abandon you because you have abandoned the Lord. But people defiantly push ahead towards the hill country, even though neither Moses nor the ark of the Lord confidently left the camp. Then the Amalek and the Canaanite who lived in those hills came down, attacked them, and chased them back as far as Hormah. Chapter 15, Law concerning offering. Then the Lord told Moses, give the following instruction to the people of Israel. When you finally settle in the land I am giving you, you will offer special gift as pleasing aroma to the Lord. This gift may take the form of a burnt offering, a sacrifice to fulfill a vow, a voluntary offering, or an offering at any of your annual festival, and they may be taken from your herd of cattle or your flock of sheep and goat. When you present this offering, you must also give the Lord a great offering of 2/4 of choice flour mixed with 1/4 of olive oil for each lamb offered as a burnt offering or a special sacrifice. You must also present 1/4 of wine as a liquid offering. If a sacrifice is a ram, give a grain offering for a quarter of choice flour mixed with a third of a gallon of olive oil, and give a third of a gallon of wine as a liquid offering. This will be a pleasing aroma to the Lord. When you present a young goat as a burnt offering or a sacrifice to fulfill the vow, or as a peace offering to the Lord, you must also give a grain offering of 6/4 of choice flour mixed with 2/4 of olive oil, and give 2/4 of wine as a liquid offering. This will be a special gift, a pleasing aroma to the Lord. Each sacrifice of a bout, ram, lamb, or young goat must be prepared in this way. Following this instruction with each offering you present, all of you native-born Israelites must follow this instruction when you offer a special gift as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. And if any foreigner visit you or living among you and want to present a special gift as a pleasing aroma to the Lord, they must follow those same procedures. Native-born Israelites and foreigners are equal before the Lord and are subject to the same decrees. This is a permanent law for you to be observed from generation to generation. The same instruction to regulation will apply both to you and to the foreigner living among you. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instruction to the people of Israel. When you arrive in the land where I'm taking you, and you eat and the crops that grow there, you must set some aside as a sacrifice offering to the Lord. Present a cake from the first of the flour you're growing and set it aside as a sacrifice offering, as you do with the first grain from the threshing floor. Throughout the generation to come, you are to present a sacred offering to the Lord each year from the first of your ground flour. But suppose you unintentionally fail to carry out all these commands that the Lord had given you through Moses, and suppose your descendants in the future fail to do everything the Lord had commanded through Moses. If the mistake was made unintentionally and the community was unaware of it, the whole community must present a young goat for a burnt offering as a pleasing aroma to the Lord. It must be offered along with its prescribed grain offering and liquid offering, and with one male goat for a sin offering. With it, the priest will purify the whole community of Israel, make them right with the Lord, and they will be forgiven. For it was an unintentional sin, and they have corrected it with the offering to the Lord, the special gift and the sin offering. The whole community of Israel will be forgiven, including the foreigner living among you, for all the people were involved in the sin. If one individual committed an intentional sin, the guilty person must bring a 1-year-old female goat for a sin offering. The priest will sacrifice it to purify the guilty person before the Lord, and the person will be forgiven. This same instruction applied both to native-born Israelites and to the foreigner living among you. But those who brazenly violate the Lord's will, whether native-born Israelite or foreigner, have blasphemed the Lord, and they must be cut off from the community. Since they have treated the Lord's word with contempt and deliberately disobeyed his command, they must be completely cut off and suffer the punishment for their guilt. Penalty for breaking the Sabbath. One day when the people of Israel were in the wilderness, they discovered a man gathering food on the Sabbath day. The people who found him doing this took him before Moses, Aaron, and the rest of the community. They held him in custody because they did not know what to do with him. Then the Lord said to Moses, the man must be put to death. The whole community must stone him outside the camp. So the whole community took the man outside the camp and stoned him to death, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. tasseled on clothing. Then the Lord said to Moses, give the following instruction to the people of the Israel. Throughout the generation to come, you must make tassel for the hem of your clothing and attach them with a blue cord. When you see the tassel, you will remember and obey all the command of the Lord instead of following your own design and define yourself as you are prone to do. The tassel will help you remember that you must obey all my command and be holy to your God. I'm the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt that I might be your God. I'm the Lord your God. And then chapter 16. Okay, so those 4 chapters talking about Moses sent the 12 persons to explore the land as God promised to give them. But they found a different idea because at that time there's a very strong people lived there. And then because they disobey the Lord's commandment and they have no faith on God, they got a punishment, which is they will die in the wilderness. They will never touch that promised land until 40 years later. So that is the starting why they need to stay wandering in this wilderness land for 40 years. So those Israel people always want rebellion. It's exactly like the outside world people. In this world, human's nature is always repeat the thing and the thing again. Very few people can follow God's commandment. So this is give us very good lesson to remind us we need to follow God's commandment and keep humble, and also always face a God. Alright, so that is today's Bible's learning. Hope everybody like it. God bless you, everyone. Let's see you tomorrow.